Coming up on News Live at 6, an update from the incident on Marshall Street. The mother of the man accused of taking inappropriate photos says it was not him.
Provide them with hope to be able to survive.
SU alum trying to escape Gaza, how the campus community is working to get him and his family out.
And an exclusive interview with who the Democrats picked to challenge Brandon Williams. News Live at 6 starts right now.
CitrusTV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
The mother of the man accused of taking inappropriate photos who was later arrested on Marshall Street is speaking out. Welcome into News Live at 6. I'm Benjamin Schiller.
And I'm Katie Fongvongsa. We have that story, but first, Syracuse University alumni are raising funds for an SU graduate who's trying to evacuate Gaza with his family.
Citrus TV reporter Leah Cohn spoke with the alums who are working to raise awareness of their friend's story. Good evening, Leah.
Thanks, Ben. Maxwell graduate Mohammed Shah returned to his home in Gaza after he graduated last June. Now he and his family need to flee to Egypt to escape further attacks. Since last October, millions of displaced Palestinians are living in tents in Rafah, the most populated city in Gaza. According to CNN, people in Rafah are alarmed at the possible Israeli operation that will stop all people from fleeing once troops move in. Right now, Moshad, his wife, and his 11-year-old daughter live with continuous bombing and avoiding airstrikes when seeking refuge. They do not have access to resources and are unable to find a working hospital for his daughter, who has now been sick for the past few weeks. Two of Mo's fellow graduates, Madison Young and Shazab Nahim, says when they were together on campus, Mo taught his friends about Palestine resistance and what it means to be part of a community.
He often would share recipes with a lot of his colleagues and teach them different aspects that are expressions of resistance in Palestine.
Mo's other friends have posted about him on their Instagram stories, sharing the Palestinian traditions he taught them and the reality of life in Gaza.
He hoped to never have to leave Gaza. I do know that. That was something that I would never forget.
Shazeb and Madison, along with Mo's other peers, created a GoFundMe for expenses Mo and his family need to cross the Rafah-Egypt border. They have raised about a third of the $27,000 goal in their first week of fundraising. Madison says that now is the time to donate, since they do not know if Mo and his family will survive future attacks.
Giving back in the way that you can to a family that has always, welcomed everyone with open arms.
You can scan the QR code on the screen now for Mo's GoFundMe. Citrus TV will continue to give updates on Mo and his family as his friends work to fund his evacuation.
Thanks, Leah. Last night at an open gallery, emerging painter Vaughan showed attendees his art celebrating the African diaspora. Citrus TV reporter Jackson Breslin spoke with students on the importance of highlighting Black artists. Take a listen.
Schaefer Art Building played host to artist Ram Bowen last night as a part of SU's continued celebration of Black History Month. Ram sat down with attendees to discuss his work, including his lifelong passion for art.
I've just always been encouraged to make art. I started drawing from a really young age.
Much of Ram's work celebrates Black beauty and diversity, though it wasn't always done intentionally.
My thing was always Black figures and Black faces. That's just something I've always gravitated toward before I even had the idea of making representative work. It just was something that I was doing without thinking about it.
Holding an exhibit at SU was a full circle moment for the Syracuse-raised artist.
I almost went to Syracuse. My mom was like, just fill out the application. You never know. You'll have your freedom. You'll be right in the backyard. I never did.
The exhibit was one of Ram's first major showcases, and he reflected on this important moment in his career.
Honestly, I'm still processing it. It feels really good.
The showcase helped give a platform to Black artists, a point attendees took note of.
Well, yes, because I believe we're in a predominantly white university, so it's important to highlight the people of color.
The voices in the art are sometimes not as well represented in art, so it's cool to see.
Attendees tonight were able to see powerful art from an upcoming new artist.
Reporting in Syracuse, I'm Jackson Breslin, CitrusTV News.
Thanks, Jackson. Syracuse football legend Dwight Freeney was announced as part of this year's Pro Football Hall of Fame class. Freeney was enshrined in the College Hall of Fame earlier this year. SU is also retiring the defensive end's jersey next football season. Freeney is SU's 9th player in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, sixth most among colleges.
And the Whitman School is reaching new heights. U.S. News and World Report ranking SU's business school #1 for its online business bachelor's program among private universities. Whitman is getting praise for extensive advising and financial aid programs as well as student success. The university also achieved 3rd place for online bachelor's programs for veterans and 5th for online bachelor's programs overall.
The Lunar New Year is tomorrow, and Syracuse Architecture is hosting a celebration. Reporter Lizzie Gottlieb is at the event right now in Slocum Hall. Let's send it over to Lizzie. Hey, Lizzie, how is the celebration over there?
It's going great over here. Students and faculty are here right now in Slocum Hall to celebrate the Lunar New Year and the Year of the Dragon. Dean of the school, Michael Speaks, and architecture student Vaughan are sharing the role of Master of Ceremonies. Shen says a lot of time and effort went into this event. This is not the first time that the School of Architecture has hosted this event. Shen shares his appreciation for the inclusiveness of this event and as it has happened over the years.
Will be participating in this event and celebrating Asian culture and really making this festival a festival for everyone.
Students and faculty are bringing their culture to this event with presentations on dumpling making and Chinese dancing. Later tonight, student-run activities will include painting fans and dragon making. Back to you, Ben and Katie.
Thanks, Lizzie. Well, what's it looking outside right now, Ben? Like, you know, it's been really warm. So.
Yeah, I mean, the weather has been absolutely fantastic this week. It's been mostly upper 50s and 60s. And our weather anchor, Moira Vaughan, making her in-studio debut for the first time this semester. Moira, is that weather going to stick around here in Syracuse?
Ben, well, I hope so. This weather will not be staying with us after today, but I wouldn't even think about that right now. And I would just say get outside after the show tonight. Right now, we're looking at 53 degrees, and with low humidity, it's just been a gorgeous day here on campus. Looking ahead to tonight, we're looking at 51 degrees, and I'll be a little bit cautious of the 11-mile-per-hour wind, but other than that, really just try and get outside and enjoy the weather. Looking ahead, across the region, we are looking at low 50s and high 40s, so really that gorgeous weather is just sticking with us, which, I mean, come on, you can't just not go outside, and I'm talking about February 9th, and I'm saying low 50s. That is just absolutely crazy. Later on in the night, I'll have more on your 5-day forecast. Guys?
Thanks, Moira. Well, early spring-like temperatures are great for the Department of Transportation, too. Construction crews are taking advantage of the unseasonable temperatures to get ahead on projects. DOT workers are checking out smaller jobs before springtime comes, including repairs to curbs. They also take time to pick up litter and remove graffiti while it's not snowy and icy.
Well, check out this video. A Bridgeport man was arrested for trying to catch a wave in his truck. Yes, the sheriff's office in Volusia County says Jason Brzukowicz drove around a closed gate marked "Do Not Enter" to get onto the beach. He's been charged with a county ordinance for failing to pay vehicle access fees.
New details now on the shooting of 2 teens by an Onondaga County police deputy last year. The mother of the driver of the stolen car, who was the only survivor from the car, is dropping her claim against the sheriff's office. In December, Lacey Wright filed a notice for claim for assault and causing PTSD against the sheriff's office. When the now dropped claim was filed, Wright declined to comment. The Sheriff's Police Association called the claim frivolous.
And trouble is brewing in Baldwinsville. Anheuser-Busch employees holding a practice picket line yesterday. Nearly 5,000 union workers are threatening to strike in March, including at the Baldwinsville plant. The Teamsters Union announced earlier this week that they would double the strike pay to $1,000 a week. And coming up on News Live at 6, 2 Onondaga County Democrats think can take on Brandon Williams in the fall. One-on-one with John Mannion next.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Benjamin Schiller, Katie Fongvongsa, and Moira Vaughan. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Hey, welcome back. The question many local Democrats are asking is who can beat Syracuse Congressman Brandon Williams in November? The answer from the Onondaga County Democratic Committee last night, it's John Mannion, the state senator.
The vote for Mannion was overwhelming, and our political reporter Luke Radel was in the room and spoke to Mannion exclusively. Luke, what does this designation mean for Mannion's campaign and the other Democrats running?
Katie and Ben, it's great to be with you and round out this triple header today on a Friday. 3 candidates were going for the Onondaga Democratic Committee's designation, but only one of them could win it, and yes, that was State Senator John Mannion. The margin, as you said, was not even close. 73% of the vote of the 500 Democratic Committee members, who are party leaders in the area, went to John Mannion, 24 to Clee Hood, and 3 to college professor Clemmy Harris. So let's take a look at what that means for John Mannion. The support of those 500-plus committee members, along with assistance in the petitioning process, volunteers out on the ground for him, and an endorsement from the largest county currently in the district. So let's take a look at what New York's 22nd district looks like right now. This was the primary in 2022, about 2 years ago, when Sarah Clee Hood was running back then. She won Oneida and Madison counties, but Francis Knoll received the designation and won Onondaga County. And the rest didn't matter. The fact that he won Onondaga County let him win the primary by over 1,000 votes. It's the largest county in the district. But the question is, can John Mannion do better this time than Fran Knoll? I asked him that exclusively last night. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, you're not the first person to get picked over Sarah Clee Hood for a congressional seat. Fran Knoll got the designation last year, or 2 years ago, and obviously didn't win the election. What are you going to do differently than Fran Knoll to beat Brandon Williams this time around?
So I can only speak to what I have done, and I've already done a lot. Like, I've been running in this district since 2018.
Now, Clee Hood's team disagrees with that sentiment and doesn't believe the Onondaga County Democratic Committee's designation is all that important. We'll see if Mannion's the candidate that they put up against Brandon Williams in November. Ben and Katie, back over to you guys.
Well, let's go from local politics to business now. A distribution center in Listener Center is under fire after violating the Americans with Disabilities Act. McLean Northeast, a popular Walmart distributor, is being fined $1.6 million for refusing to interview a deaf applicant back in 2018.
The woman who was rejected has been challenging the company in court for nearly 4 years. She will receive payments for emotional and punitive damages. She met all the requirements for the job and was denied an interview.
I'll get you prepared for the next 5 days with your 5-day forecast. Stay with us.
Let's go see your room.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly, a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Now, if you are looking forward to some more amazing weather, I have some really bad news for everyone. Tomorrow, it will be raining, 54 degrees out, super muggy, just not ideal weather. And then, welcome back to Syracuse. We're in the 38 degrees, cloudy, just absolutely miserable. Makes me really sad just even talking about it. And looking ahead to Tuesday and Wednesday, the sun will come out a little bit, but we're still in that 31 and 32 degrees. So embrace the rest of today because we won't be seeing the sun for a little bit while. And if you want to embrace the rest of today, here is my sunshine playlist. I know Ben and Katie were looking for one, so here are my top 8 songs to get you in a good mood. Mr. Blue Sky, Can't Go Wrong Ever, Murder on the Dance Floor, Pocketful of Sunshine, Hotel California, Valerie, September, Rich Girl, and Dog Days Are Over. If you're asking me, I think that's a pretty solid playlist. Later on, I'll give you your wake-up weather. Guys, back to you.
And if you're tuning in to the Super Bowl this weekend, you might hear a familiar voice. Nickelodeon's SpongeBob-themed broadcast of the biggest game in football will star East Syracuse native Tom Kenny. Kenny is famous for voicing SpongeBob SquarePants in the hit Nickelodeon show.
Kenny will assist SU alum and CitrusTV alum Noah Eagle in play-by-play commentary. Patrick Starr will have silent analysis. And Katie, it sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, it seems like a great telecast. And the Super Bowl this upcoming Sunday is going to be a great Super Bowl. And more to talk about the Super Bowl itself is Ryan Bridges in sports. Hey, Ryan.
Well, Noah Eagle isn't going to be the only Citrus TV member who's going to be down in Las Vegas for Super Bowl 48. We've got more live coverage from Las Vegas right after the break.
Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
America's biggest game is just 2 days away. Welcome into sports. I'm Ryan Bridges. Many of us here in the 315 have been looking forward to the big game, except for a couple of really lucky Citrus TV members who have been covering the Super Bowl on Radio Row this weekend. One of those people is Ben Spector, and Ben is now going to join us here on News Live at 6. Ben, you've talked to a lot of NFL media members, current players, former players this week. Out of all the interviews you've done, what's a moment that's really stood out to you?
Well, Ryan, the most interesting interview I've done, for me personally, it has to be David Tyree. I mean, I remember where I was for the 2007 Super Bowl with the helmet catch. It's my first football memory, really, and it's just such a great feeling to talk to him about that and to hear his input on what really happened and what went down on that play. But aside from Tyree, I also got the chance to talk to Ian Eagle, Andrew Catalon, Beth Moen, some of sports industry's best. So when you look at the landscape of sports in this world and you talk to these broadcasters, it's just so fascinating to hear their insight on not only the NFL season, but how they got there, who they really are, and just learn a lot more information about them. And that's what Radio Row gives you.
David Tyree, Syracuse's very own, at the Super Bowl with Ben Spector. One more question for you. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is a seasoned vet when it comes to playing football in February. He's gone to 3 Super Bowls. He's won 2 already. That's not the case with the other sideline. With Brock Purdy, it's his first Super Bowl. It's kind of new water for him. What's he been like leading up to this game?
Ryan, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant in 2022, round 7, pick number 262. When he got to camp, Kyle Shanahan thought he was the best quarterback as the 3rd string, with Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo leading the charge as the 1st and 2nd string. So Shanahan went up to the owner, Jed York, and said, I think that our 3rd guy is the best guy. And as an owner, that's not really something that you want to hear from your head coach. Ultimately, Purdy got the opportunity because of injuries to Lance and Garoppolo. So then Purdy really was stellar in his play, and now he can lead the 49ers to a Super Bowl just a year later. It's truly remarkable.
Ben Spector, thank you so much for all your coverage all week down in Las Vegas. Of course, Radio Row is super cool, but you know what? The important thing is the game. Grab your favorite friends, your nachos, whatever you want to do, and 6:30 Eastern on Sunday, we'll all be watching. It's the Kansas City Chiefs, the San Francisco 49ers. These 2 teams met in the Super Bowl back in 2020. The Chiefs got the win 31-20 in this one, and for whatever it's worth, in the Grossmont Gifford Zoo here in Syracuse, the Elephants and Tigers picked the Chiefs to win the game. So take that with whatever you will. All right. So transitioning now back to the Hill. Syracuse women's basketball took on Georgia Tech last night in the Dome, and the Orange haven't beaten the Yellow Jackets in their last 5 games that they've played each other. But can they break that unfortunate streak? To the JMA Wireless Dome we now go, and you'll notice that SU is wearing all pink jerseys for their Pink Out game to support breast cancer awareness. It didn't start out great for the Orange in this game, though. Now Alyssa Latham with the ball at the top of the key, gets inside and for the layup. Syracuse trailed throughout most of the first half in this one, most of that because of Cara Dunn. She gets the pass from Sydney Johnson here, knocks down the shot, and now the Orange start to come back and make their move. They take the lead in the 3rd quarter thanks to a career-high 13 points from Isabel Verjao, and this is a tough shot right here from Verjao. Backing down a defender, the lefty hook shot, and gets fouled, plus she banks it in. Pretty impressive stuff. Orange now up 2 with 30 seconds left. Georgia Tech goes for the tie. No good. Orange fight for the ball. Alyssa Latham wins the jump ball. She wins the possession arrow for Syracuse, but Syracuse only makes 1 of their final 4 free throws down the stretch. Georgia Tech goes for the tie with seconds left. No good. Orange are fighting for the ball on the ground, and Georgia Tech eventually steps out. Orange are up 3 with 0.7 left. That means that they hold on to win. 62 Syracuse, Georgia Tech 59 inside the dome. The Orange go to 19-4 on the season. But that was the JMA Wireless Dome last night. What's happening in the JMA Wireless Dome right now? Well, they're currently, picking up the pieces from the dismantling that Syracuse men's lacrosse had against Manhattan. They just took them down 16-3. That just went final. Joey Spallina had a career high 10 points in this one. 3 goals, 7 assists. He's having an incredible start to the season. The Orange are 3-0 to start the season. Although they've played Vermont, Colgate, Manhattan, not the powerhouses that you're used to seeing in college lacrosse. Maryland is up next on their schedule next Saturday. Guys, I'll send it back over to you, but who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
I'm going to pick the Chiefs, but Ryan Bridges, Ben Spector, thank you so much. The man accused of taking inappropriate photos on Marshall Street, his mother speaking out.
Welcome to an excellent episode of Live from Studio B.
The mother of the man accused of taking inappropriate photos who was later arrested on Marshall Street is speaking out.
Citrus TV reporter Max Williams spoke with the mother who says there's more to her son's story than people have heard.
Police are still pitting the pieces together as to what happened on Marshall Street late Tuesday afternoon. In a statement sent out by the Syracuse Police Department, officers responded to a suspicious person call in the area of the 1100 block of East Genesee Street. Complaints were made to 911 that a male acted suspiciously and took inappropriate photos of people. 30-year-old Thomas B. Crudo was later found on Marshall Street, when, according to Syracuse Police Lieutenant Michael Malinowski, that's when he attempted to flee.
Drove forward, hit a parked car, drove backwards, hit a parked car. During that struggle while the officer was in the car, there was a violent dog inside, had bit the officer across the face. Eventually the officer was able to place the male in custody.
Crudo is being charged with second-degree unlawful surveillance, obstruction of governmental administration, resisting arrest and aggravated assault, and tampering with physical evidence. In the exclusive interview with the mother tonight, she says her son did nothing wrong.
So you don't think that your son was taking inappropriate pictures?
No, sir. Syracuse police is saying the call came in of suspicious activity at 1100 East Genesee at 3:07. Mm-hmm. And I was on the phone with him at 3:14, 7 minutes after. And I was under the assumption he was making a delivery.
Andrea says her son has had a bad relationship with her daughter for a while and believes she is to blame for his arrest.
And so, do you think it was your daughter that called 911 and was accusing him, or?
I have a strong suspicion.
Just a few days ago, her son had an interaction with the daughter.
He was in PetSmart on Erie Boulevard, and he was doing a shopping order for DoorDash. And he was with his girlfriend, and my daughter come walking in there. And the second she saw him, she started screaming in the middle to get him away from there. Call him blank, blank, blank. Get him away from there. He does this, he does that.
But Malinowski says this is not the only time they have dealt with Crudo.
Known by us, and we've had previous interactions.
The incident still remains under investigation. In Syracuse, Max Williams, Citrus TV News.
Thanks, Max. That's Citrus TV News Live at 6 for this Friday. I'm Benjamin Schiller.
And I'm Katie Fongvongsa. Have a great night, Syracuse, and a good weekend.